what we have basically is a random ranking of foods that we would serve at our weddings if we could do our weddings over again. And very different situations for Ari and I. Ari got married a year ago. He was a grown-up. His wife's a grown-up. They got to make grown-up decisions about what they were going to do. I was 22. My wife was 21. We didn't know squat. If we had to do it all over again, it'd be completely different. We did the
I gotta
rubber
say, you were probably
steak.
more mature when you were 23 and 22 than I am now. So don't sell yourself short. And also, it's cute that you think I had any input whatsoever on what happened at my wedding.
Well, I didn't have any input either, but that was by choice. I was like, yeah, whatever. Sounds good.
So my number one thing, Andy, with weddings is, and this is the thing that I ran into with my wife as we planned it a year ago. There is a certain sense that because it is a formal event and people are wearing suits, that you have to be classy and put out food that matches the occasion. And what that usually amounts to is to serve steak that tastes like airplane food, salmon, chicken, dried out mashed potatoes, and whatever it is. You pay $10,000 and you get whatever hotel you're at's food.
Yes.
And I think that there is a fear from the bride.
Stuff that they bought at Sam's Club.
And it all comes out in tins that they open up, and you get it. It's super expensive. Yeah. It's more expensive than it would be to go to a nice steakhouse and get a piece of meat. Nobody even wants it, and it's a waste of money. And all I think it is really is to keep up appearances of where you're at. So I'm in a situation where, because my wife runs my household, I had no input whatsoever on what we were actually going to serve. Now, this random ranking is what we would have served if it were me, because the thing that I think women who are in charge of the food for weddings don't really understand or really think about as they're preparing to get married is that it's supposed to be fun. It's a wedding where people are celebrating, we're drinking, it's a party, it's supposed to be fun, we're going to have a good time. It's the most expensive party
you've ever thrown, but it's still a party.
Yeah. So the most ironic part about this, Andy, is that if you were to ask even the stuffiest of guests what they would rather have, would you rather have the airplane food that makes appearances look nice, or would you rather have the food that we're going to list off?
Yes.
All of them would pick the food that we're going to list off. So we're spending money on crappy food for people who don't want it in order to make it look good. And that's annoying. So, like,
and nobody wins in that scenario. Nobody wins.
We pay too much. They don't enjoy it as much. Who are we doing it for? They're our friends and family. I don't know. And listen, I didn't want it to look like it was some low budget, cheap, I understand that, we spent a lot of money on the venue and you want things to look right. But at the same time, I would have preferred for it to be more fun. So if I were to get married again with my wife, and assuming that I had any say whatsoever on how we did it, these are the 5 things that I would like to have in some form or fashion for dinner.
All right, you start with number 5. Yeah, no, dinner. Yes, this is the dinner.
Okay, well, I have a dessert on here. My number 5 dessert is funnel cake of some sort. Okay,
nice.
Like that, beautiful. To me, is a celebration food, and people love it. And it's like you get a little sweet and savory with your dinner. And who doesn't love a good funnel cake? I want to tell you a story real quick before you give your number 5. I went to a wedding. I went to a wedding legitimately. It was during COVID. Sorry about that. But it had to have been $1 million wedding, dude. Like, it was at it just had everything that you could possibly imagine.
Yeah. Ice sculptures.
And at the end of this wedding, everything. I'll never forget this for the rest of my life. And at the end of the wedding, they had chicken fingers, French fries, burgers, and pizza in the back of the room. And every single dude, penguin suit or not, was standing in line in the back of the room. And I would have thought to myself, every single one of these people wishes this is what was for dinner before we started drinking heavily and dancing and all that stuff.
Well, I am glad that you said that, because my number 5 is a pyramid of Raising Cane's boxes.
Let's go.
Just stack it in the middle of the dance floor. Everybody grab
Anybody
a box.
can get it.
Let's go.
Yeah, everybody.
Yes.
It looks like in the tunnel after a football game. You ever spin in the tunnel after a college football game and the people come out and they hand out the Popeyes? And I try to come out of the locker room and pretend like I'm on the team and I just want to grab one of those boxes.
Yep.
I saw Urban Meyer eat the sad Papa John's. How sad could it have been?
We'll have a pyramid of standard boxes. We'll have a pyramid of double fries, no slaw. We'll have a pyramid of double toast, no slaw.
Yes. So my number 4 is,
but that's not the after party, Catherine. That is, Catherine in the chat says I had a friend who did that before the after party. No, this is the dinner because that's what everybody wants. Dinner.
Yeah, after party. My number 4 would be a huge bucket of McDonald's French fries. I don't know how you could bring it in. I don't know if it wouldn't keep. Well, I'd bring the vat in and have them fresh. And then I would put them in the McDonald's container and set them out there for everybody to grab. Fresh, salted McDonald's French fries.
It'd be tremendous. It'd be the best 5 minutes of the wedding, but afterward it'd be pretty mushy. But that 5 minutes would be amazing.
Well, you got somebody, working the fryer to make sure they're always fresh.
We went back and forth on how we do pizza, and I was at somebody's house for a party, and they had brought in a wood-fired oven pizza truck.
Look at that.
Which I thought was tremendous because they're making the little, kind of 9-inch personal pizzas, which take in that oven take 30 seconds, and they're doing volume. Like that's you give people like a choice of 4 kind. You got your margarita, you got your pepperoni, and then you just go, and you walk up, you grab your pizza. You're good. You got the nice bubbly, soft, and charred crust. I'm in.
Love that about you. My number 3 is a wing station. It could be Wingstop, or if you want to do it classier, boneless or bone-in, and you get
bone-in's going to get messy flavors. The groomsmen are going to get messy. I like it.
Yeah, well, it's a party. I think 1 buffalo, 1 barbecue of some sort, and 1 garlic parmesan or lemon pepper.
Yep.
And
I love it.
And if you want to do boneless for the sake of not getting your suit disgusting, or you can just be a responsible adult and just wash your hands or whatever. But you need to have some sort of wing distribution here for me.
I feel like wings would be a good rehearsal dinner situation. Because then that's when you really need to know who your people are on that night to be prepared for the next day. So, my number 2, this would be my number 3.
No, because I think rehearsal dinner can be good because you can actually have that at a restaurant who has good food.
That's true.
Like I would get like steaks and chicken and all that place at a smaller venue with a smaller group of people to eat good the night before, and then the wedding is the party.
Yeah. All right. So my next one is donut truck or donut place that has a truck, and it's just all donuts for the dinner. Like, it's not dessert. That's the dinner.
Are people going to tell us that we should get married? Because I think that's what's next. Because
probably.
So it'd be a hell of a wedding.
I took the family to Universal Studios in Orlando over the weekend and had some Voodoo Donut on Saturday. I've been to the original out in Portland. It's excellent. But that Mango Tango donut with the mango filling and the tang powder on top, I think should be illegal. That's so good.
Wow.
I
went
we
to
can make
Voodoo
donut burgers too.
I went to Voodoo Donuts in Portland too, and I got to tell you, I did not think it was that great. I might have gotten the wrong donuts though.
You probably did. You got to get the Voodoo.
I got the one with the Fruit Loops on it.
Oh, I like the Fruit Loop one. I like the ODB that has the crushed Oreos and the peanut butter. That's another good one.
Yeah.
But I always get the Voodoo Doll. The Voodoo Doll is just a raised chocolate covered with raspberry filling.
I feel like you would probably know more about this because sweets is not my category.
Right.
My number 2 was something that I actually priced out because my wife and I got married in Southern California. Chose that right over going to Norman, Oklahoma. California won just by a hair. And it would be an In-N-Out truck. And I looked it up, and it was actually pretty reasonable. I think it was like $5,000 for 100 people. And we could not do it because the hotel had regulations or something that you couldn't park the truck.
You
in
couldn't
their,
bring
valet
in.
area.
Oh yeah, that would have been amazing.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, because it was a very small venue where we got our hotel was like a small boutique hotel, and the only place to park this thing would have been like near the valet area. But could you imagine just a line or people handing out the the eat in your car.
Yep.
Eating your car boxes and just fries and burgers for everybody. And the problem with that is that you have people who don't eat beef, and then things like that's the thing too. You have dietary restrictions. Yeah. And not everybody can eat.
Those people are going to hate my number 2. So
yeah, what's your number 2?
So we've already gone classy with the fancy donuts and with the Raising Cane's boxes. We're gonna this is for my people. This is for the people who I'm probably related to, who we don't talk about that much. But this is an after party thing. This is after everybody's had some drinks. After that $1 million one you went to that had chicken fingers after the reception.
Mm-hmm.
We're having Crystal after the reception.
Yeah, I thought there would be like a White Castle Crystal appearance here. And
yeah, we're going Crystal. We're chili. We got the burgers. We got the chili cheese pups. I mean, it's just one after it. Quantity over quality. I love Crystal.
It's just there to get the job done. Everybody's having a good time.
If I'm sober, I don't want it. I want no part of it. But like when I've had a few,
if you're hammered and you are dancing and having a great time and in the vicinity of pure and true love, and then you look over your shoulder and you see some guy unloading a box of crystals onto a table for everybody.
You are killing
what it feels like to be on the stairway to heaven? Like I honestly don't know.
So
like,
have I told you my story about the crystal on the corner of Canal and Bourbon Street in New Orleans?
I don't know.
So my senior year of
college,
college,
you have. This was
working for the school paper. We decided we're going to stay in New Orleans. We're about to cover the Florida LSU game in Baton Rouge the next day, and it's not a night game in Baton Rouge. It's a 2:30 Central game where it rained like crazy. So we stayed in New Orleans the night before, did the touristy Bourbon Street thing. I had a lot of hand grenades. I walked into that crystal with $76 in my pocket. I do not remember what happened after that. The next thing I remember is waking up in my hotel room surrounded by crystal bags. I like to think...
And the money was gone.
And the money was all... There was like $1.
Wait,
but I like to think I put on a show that night.
Didn't Florida play in their national championship game when you played on the team was in New Orleans too, wasn't it?
It was. I spent a lot of my per diem at the Popeyes on Canal Street.
Okay, I was going to say, didn't you spend your entire per diem at like a fast food restaurant, and that was another New Orleans?
No, I did not spend my entire per diem. Most of my per diem went to buy my books for the spring semester because I spent it at Popeyes instead of Ruth's Chris. I ate every meal that was put out there for the team. New Orleans, Andy,
is probably a sight to be seen.
Oh yeah. I ate every meal that was put out there for the team, and any meal that I had to pay for myself, I went to Popeyes.
Yeah. Well, hey, okay. So my number 1, I know everybody's anticipating that I'm going to say Domino's cheesy bread. But against my better judgment, I want to get the best local pizza shop by the slice for people. Domino's, you said we wouldn't want to be low class or cheap or feel like we're cutting corners. I think if we put Domino's cheesy bread out there, that would be bad. But you know what I think would be number 1? Is if you took Domino's cheesy bread, removed them from the boxes, cut them up, and put toothpicks in them, and put them out nicely so people didn't know where they were from.
Well,
then everybody would say this is the best appetizer I've ever had in my entire life.
Some of the plain cheesy bread, some of the bacon jalapeno cheesy bread,
yeah.
Some of is it garlic feta?
One with the feta, yeah,
yeah.
And people didn't know what it was from. That would be. I wish I could personally finance that experiment and just watch people.
Your own version of the Pepsi challenge.
Yeah, but I do think that a by the slice situation, where it was a really good piece of pizza that people just go up, pepperoni, cheese, veggie, whatever. There's no better thing that you could do than having a pizza party for your wedding.
Nope, there's one thing better, and here it is: breakfast buffet.
Oh wow!
breakfast buffet. All you can eat bacon, omelet station, pancakes, waffles. The waffle iron, the waffle maker. Everybody's squirting.
You'd actually want their own batter, and you'd want them to do the thing where they turn it over and have to like wait for the beeper to go off.
1,000,000%. Because the so fights would break out over that.
Your wedding venue could just be in the Ramada Inn breakfast area. Cut the costs.
No, it needs to be a better quality buffet than that. Like I'm thinking Shoney's buffet or higher.
Oh, okay.
Shoney's breakfast buffet or higher.
Yeah. Oh, you got breakfast buffet with bacon, sausage, diced potatoes, hash browns, eggs.
Absolutely.
Omelet bar.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
Omelet bar. You got muffins. You've got a cereal bar with the milk.
Talk dirty to me.
Yeah.
Talk dirty.
Yeah. This is not an ad. Wish it was. The American Express card. Whenever you book a hotel through American Express, like one of the benefits is you get free breakfast. And if you're staying at a nice hotel, the Breakers right here when we stayed there, that was the best breakfast buffet. Did you go to the breakfast buffet at the Breakers?
I did. It was wonderful.
It was incredible.
Everybody hands you everything individually. Like it's like fine dining where everybody, all the waiters show up at the same time and drop your food, except in a buffet form.
Yeah. No, that I smashed at that buffet. But I like where your head's at there.
Yeah, it would be breakfast for dinner is the best thing. We've just started doing that at home. Like one night a week is breakfast for dinner night. We make bacon, eggs. My wife makes pancakes on the griddle, and we eat breakfast for dinner. And the kids love it. It's their favorite night of the week. And so I say just do that on steroids.
Yeah. You know what? I think we just have a future with wedding planning.
The best weddings ever that no brides will ever agree to.
Maybe one day some man will stand up
and say, "This is what we shall do," and the bride will be like, "No, nope."
There is something about and Andy had a hypothesis for this, but there is something about the pre-wedding planning phase of a relationship where the woman possesses all of the power. And frankly speaking, the woman in my relationship possesses all the power all the time. But in that scenario, it was profoundly lopsided. And I
don't want power in that situation. I didn't want it. I was like, do what you want. Whatever. There'll be a breakfast buffet when we get to the honeymoon.
Andy, you don't have to do anything, sweetheart, but to help me plan for this wedding. I will do everything. All you have to do is pick out what everyone will have for dinner. You would have been like, no, you do it.
I'd have been like, where do we? No, well, I was 22, so I was stupid. So I probably been like, well, I guess we should get the rubber steak from the hotel.
Yeah.
Which we did.
And my wedding night was the best night of my life. But I think eloping also would have been the best night of my life too. So,
well, I've told
money,
this story. Yeah, I've told this story on the podcast. Like, we got to our honeymoon. First thing we saw is a couple getting married on the dock, and it's like, oh crap, we should have just done that.
Yeah,
we totally screwed
that honeymoon would have been with an extra 10 G's or more. I don't know.
Oh my god, it took 5 years to pay off the wedding. 5 years. I remember making those payments.
That's terrifying. But look at you now, bud. And you have that memory in the memory bank. And life's about memories.
22 years later, it's paid off for the last 17 years. I cannot believe
that you've been married for 22 years.
As of July, yes.
That's insane. I feel like we're the same age. 22 years ago, I was like...
In high school? Were you even in high school? Were you in middle school?
No, I wasn't. I started high school in 01.
Okay. I got married in 01. So there you go.
Yeah. Hey, congratulations, man. 22 years, what an accomplishment. Now,
exactly.
If you ever get remarried like Clark Griswold, you'll plan the dinner.
Oh, well, see, here's the thing. We'll be 100% in agreement on the breakfast buffet. In fact, I'm going to text her right now. We're renewing our vows. Breakfast buffet. Who says no?